You know, I like him as a bloke, but he's so unreliable, isn't he? I mean, do you know what? I'd tell him as well. I'd tell him to his face. That's once again, that's rang out. I mean, does he ever turn up on time? Was he like this as a player?
It was embarrassing, yeah. Late for team meetings, everything.
And I'll tell him. When I see him.
You're brave enough. There he's there. How are you doing, Ali, son? Yeah, good. As we're keeping this way.
I laugh, you two. Oh dear. How you getting on, man?
Yeah, good morning.
Good to see you, boys.
Yeah, and you, yeah.
What's happening?
How's the family?
Family's good. You were supposed to be picking me up at the house. Did you not have enough petrol to make it up the driveway?
Well, we get done with the speed camera.
No.
On the driveway, it's that long.
No way.
I'll tell you what, just start, as it's Christmas, I've got you a
That's really
few
kind to me.
gifts.
Right, you don't mind if I open these?
No,
is it?
you don't know. That's just something to read for the
brilliant.
public.
Henrik, forward by Henrik Larsson. Brilliant. Chris Sutton.
Yeah.
There'll be a lot of pictures in this, I would imagine. Yeah. Sadder.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Pass it around the family.
No, I'll tell you right now. I'll read that in about 15 minutes when it looks at things. That's great. Thanks very much, Chris.
This is a big one. This is really splashed out.
Okay. Did you wrap these yourself?
Took me a while, yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh no.
Throw that out the window.
Oh no way. That was serious. Where are you taking me?
I'm going for a drive around the block.
Right, I better get the seatbelt on.
It'll take us about 40 minutes to get out your driveway here.
Tell us about your old firm memories. I mean, did you lose a game?
Oh yeah. And you boys will be the same, I bet you. Actually, I've got memories. The ones that stick out are probably the defeats more than the victories, because the defeats hurt you that much and they live with you. But the one I really remember would be the first game at Celtic Park, and fun enough, it was for a long time the quickest Old Firm goal in history.
Was it? How quick?
I did say it used to be the quickest goal. It was 20. I think it's 27 seconds.
Yeah, that's quick.
You scored in 27 seconds?
Yeah, again, in the first Celtic game at Parkhead.
Must have been some player who broke that record. The 90s was the era where I was told that Celtic played the better football, where Rangers... is it fair to say that Rangers were an ugly team?
I wouldn't go that far.
No.
I wouldn't go that far. I mean, steady on, Alec. An ugly team. Well, to be fair, you are qualified to make that comment. To be fair, Wendy's qualified to make that comment. It would be somebody like yourself. But anyway, no, I think when players like, even in the late 80s, David Cooper, Ian Durant, Gascoigne, Laudrup, and boys like that, Wilkins.
Yes.
I think it'd be a bit unfair to call them an ugly team.
Talking about the derby games, how did you view the Celtic team at that? From inside the Rangers dressing room?
Do you know something? There was always a healthy respect for the Celtic boys, and I don't know if it happens now, but if ever we saw the lads out, after the games, we'd always have a beer with them.
There must have been some rivalry though, in terms of you knew you were going to have ding dong. Like, who would have been the main man there then?
Big Roy, man. Big Roy Aiken. Big Roy used to play keepy up with me for about the first 6 or 7 Old games. He was Big Roy. Wore his heart on his sleeve, and he was a great player and a great pro. And obviously, we Grant in the middle of the park as well.
Yeah.
Peter was really, really competitive. As I say, I thought Paul McStay was a brilliant player.
Did the games ever really boil over?
Oh, aye. You must remember the one
Ibrox?
at Ibrox when they sent off. It was handbags, really, nothing serious. We were 2-0 down with 9 men.
Right.
And I'm telling you right now, we came back, we made it 2-1, and then with a couple of minutes to go, I still see it. Durant went down the right hand side and he slung over a cross. And I went to the front post, I went for it with the goalkeeper, and I knew I'd no chance of getting it, but I just thought it'd maybe cause a bit of havoc and something might happen. Sure enough, it went over my head, and I can still see it. I turned round, and it was as if time stood still, and the ball dropped, and I saw Big Goffey there, and I'm lying on the ground, and I'm thinking, he's going to get this. And he hits it into the net, and I just looked at the Celtic end, right? and there was silence. And then like a split second after it, the noise that came from the Rangers support was absolutely unbelievable. And I can still see Big Goffey turning away and wee Granty, Peter Grant, sinking to his knees. And it sums the whole thing up, you know what I mean? It was absolutely magic. But certainly the passion and the tension was great. And you know, some boys, the fact of the matter, see when you get guys like Graham Souness coming out and saying it's the greatest derby he's ever played in. I mean, that must tell you everything you need to know.
Did you ever win a League Cup?
I was fortunate, actually, in that particular trophy.
How many did you wind up with then?
I managed to, as a player, or are you talking all in?
Yeah, it's all in.
I think it's 12 all in, but certainly 9 as a player.
Was there a memorable League Cup game against
My first
Celtic?
one against Celtic, Chris, was 83-84 season. Would definitely be probably the most memorable. We beat Celtic 3-2 after extra time. We scored a penalty. We won nothing at half time. We scored a penalty. Bobby Russell got brought down. Lovely wee reverse ball from David
Stonewall
Cooper.
penalty, I remember.
A Stonewall penalty. And
Most of them were.
and then
Rangers.
second half.
So you took the penalty?
Yes. Yep.
Slotted it. Keepers left.
Keepers left,
Knew
correct.
it. Knew
Keepers
it.
left.
Yeah, I knew
Yeah. Big Jock Wallace. Big Jock was give us our team talk, get into extra time. You know, because Big Man was one of the best motivators ever.
That was his key, wasn't it? That was his forte.
He was fantastic, Big Jock. He really was. The only coach and manager I ever worked under that knocked me out with a punch.
Just the one?
Aye. And to be fair,
Was he the only manager or coach who hit you?
Yes, yes. And without getting into too much detail, I deserved it.
So why did he hit you?
I was late.
Right.
Yeah, I was
That's
late.
not like you.
No, I
is
was
it?
led. I was
You
late.
like to think you would learn for that,
And I'd
wouldn't you?
had one or two warnings before. So it wasn't a full punch. It was just a kind of wee dink. So went into extra time, and Jimmy Nichol played one into me at the edge of the box, and Big Roy came right through me again. Honestly, and I can still see the disbelief in Big Roy's face as referee Bob Valentine pointed to the penalty spot.
Penalty again, another Rangers penalty.
Another Rangers penalty.
Yeah.
Stuck at the same corner.
Keepers left.
And Big Packy saved it.
Right.
But he didn't save it just well enough.
Right.
And it came back out.
You got a rebound. Was that the kind of catalyst for your career? Because that kind of happened a lot from memory, yeah. Seriously, you couldn't write your own script?
Of course, we hung on 3-2, and that was just one of the great days and great players.
And that was your first?
That was first medal.
We talked all the good, haven't we? Which
Yeah.
is
Yes.
taken us a while. We'll give you that. What about the bad? What was your worst defeat?
I think the biggest doing we got was 3-0 at Parkhead. You remember the defeats?
Did you get the nice welcome for the 3,000 or 4,000 Celtic fans that wait for the bus to depart?
Oh,
it's always the hardest bit, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
It's brutal, man.
See, when we used to, and you boys would be the same, when we used to arrive at Celtic Park, there'd be a posse.
Did you like that?
Loved it. Same as you. I loved it.
How many goals you actually get against Celtic over the piece then, in terms of the career?
I think it was. Did I say I think?
Aye, right.
29.
29 goals?
Yeah.
And 22 of those were penalties?
27.
27 penalties.
27.
What about celebrations? I remember a couple of shockers. One you were kissing the boot.
That was a 4 each game. That was brilliant.
That was one of the best games I've ever seen.
Aye. What a game it was.
Where was that?
Ibrox. It was absolutely lashing with rain, right? It was a great day. We go 3-1 down. I think Tommy scores to make it 3-1 to Celtic. And Big Roy turns to me and says, "Oh, you, how about that? Get it right, you know what I'm saying? Have some of that." So I'm kind of, all right, fair enough, biggin. So anyway, 3-2, 3 each. We go 4-3 up, right? And all the Rangers boys are celebrating, and I'm just running about the 18-yard box looking for Big Roy, right? So I'm right up to him. How you like it, biggin? You know, have some of that. And he's like, anyway, I don't need to tell you. 2 minutes to go, Murdo. It's 4-3 us. Murdo hits one for, man, he hits one for
30 yards.
It was a Cessna underground, he hit it for man, right? And it flies, I think Big Nicky Walker's, it flies right in, and just at the corner of my eye, I can see Big Roy coming for me. Right? So I just stuck my jersey up over my head and I ran back at the halfway line. I could hear him shouting, "Oh, you! Turn around and look at me! Look at me!"
Brilliant.
And the game finished 4 each, and it's probably, boys, it's probably the only Old Firm game that I was ever involved in where both sets of supporters went home fairly happy.
Did you feel there was more pressure as a Rangers manager than as a Ranger? And did you, how did you feel differently about?
Well, do you know something? Plain and simply because I think you're worrying about everything else and everybody else.
Yeah, of course.
Whereas when you're playing, effectively you've got a job to do. You need to go out and do it. Whereas once the boys gone over that white line, cross that white line onto the park, really there's nothing you can do. I know you can tweak it, you can make substitutions and all that kind of stuff, but you're in the hands of the players.
So were you more nervous
yes,
as a manager?
Yes, definitely. I think I was definitely more nervous as a manager, and I felt there was more pressure in the Old Firm games as a manager as well, because I say you're worrying about everything else other than just your own job. We take it right here, Alex, please.
What about the fans, in terms of where they play, the big part in all this?
Fantastic. The atmosphere is just unbelievable. It really is. I used to love, the passion from the supporters, and it's just it's actually amazing.
Would you have ever liked to play in a Celtic jersey?
Would I ever liked to?
I wanted to play for Celtic. The way their brand of football, the way they were playing.
It's bordering on lunacy, that question. No.
Pick you up at the same time next week, right? We'll pick you up maybe 2 hours late again next week.
I've got to say that, but I mean, that's the best part of 40 minutes and we've not made it out my driveway.
That's the show.
That's brilliant. That's a cut. Look at this for a stadium, big fella. You get the icons of Ibrox over there.
Yeah, some good players there.
It's a bit loud, isn't it, Biggie?
Hello?
Come on, Durrani, 5 minutes away.
Actually, I'm here. I'm just speaking to Fazio.
Oh, you're the club shop? Where are you then?
I'm here.
All right, there you go, Tiger, lovely.
He's moving well.
All right, Johnny. How you doing, Alec?
How much did it mean to you, the Old Firm games?
Where I come from about a mile away from the ground. So I knew what the game was all about, and the game did matter to me, because now where I come from, if we lost a Celtic game, nobody talked to me for a fortnight until the next time we played Celtic. And so it was just at the time when I broke into the team. Now Rangers.
What was it, 17 you broke in, wasn't it?
Broke in at 17, and there was a few barren years before I broke into. But when I got into the team under Big Jock, now obviously we won the League Cup with Ali scoring a hat trick, and the team was on the up. And then Mr. Souness came in, and we got to sort of started getting the ascendancy in terms of now the Old Firm games, and it stood in good stead. I think now, out of all the games I played, I think it was about 26, 27, I think I lost 3.
So, 27 games.
What was your first one? Can you remember your first one?
1984, Chris. At Park.
How old were you?
17 and a half. I had a curly perm, so I had to run about in the shower at the time to get wet. And we drew one each, and we were down to 9 men at the old Parkhead. Now, remember old Parkhead, we had now 24,000 Rangers fans at the Rangers, and the place was mobbed. Obviously Celtic won the league, but I had a chance the last minute, but McCoist had a shot. Now, so that was just to make me McCoist. Now I knew from then on not to make a daft runs to try and get a shot in. And
so you scored that day?
No, McCoy scored, but I could have scored the winner
winner
with 9 men and 30 seconds to go. I remember the game because Danny McGrain hit me with a tackle, right? And
about a neck?
No, right in the first 2 minutes, me being a young boy, first game, took a touch, and Danny hit me. I thought I got hit with the train going to Euston. And he picked me up and says, "Move the ball quicker." So that was your welcome. Yeah, that was your welcome Old Firm game. But it just shows you then.
You scored against Celtic when you were 17, though, did you not?
Scored it. That was the next season. Now, obviously going on to the next season. I had turned 18, and then in August I get the chance now to get a chance. But you know, it's like you score your first Old Firm goal, and it just.
No, I don't actually. But what was it like?
No, it was actually probably the worst goal I've scored against Celtic. I never even hit the back of the net. But there was a smash, and it's like bodies flying everywhere, like WWF. And next minute, now you just see that the ball just sitting there, and I just got a wee toe to it, and it just crawled over the line, and then went on to win 3-0.
How did the Rangers players feel about the derby games and the Celtic players going into them?
There was a bit of fear now when you get in, because now the last thing you want is now, as a young boy, is to get hiding off your rivals. But we seem to handle it better. We handled it well, and it was now. they were great occasions now, great games to play in now.
How many did you end up getting then, Durrani, in terms of scoring against Celtic?
7
goals.
Under Souness, I was given a sort of free role where I could go and join in with the forwards and go beyond, because now Souness was always a sitting midfielder. And I
He
could go
didn't move
beyond.
for that centre circle,
No,
did
never. He just managed the middle of the park and just told you to go left or right or go forward. And that was now.
You're like, okay, boss.
Yes, that's no problem. Because if you fell out with him, you want to get a game.
Did you ever fall out with him?
Oh, many a time. Oh, he clipped us one day in training. They were sort of messing about, and I nutmegged him. The next minute, I just seen a hook, and it corrected my chin. And then about 15 minutes later, I woke up in the dressing room.
What about dressing room, Durrani? You obviously have some characters in there all the years.
Oh, Gascoigne now. Now we're in the tunnel, and I was a substitute, and Gascoigne disappears, and he's rattled 2 whiskies in the bar. This is before the game kicks off, and so cut a long story short. So we're playing Hearts in the cup final about 6 or 7 weeks later, and Archie shouted to Gascoigne, "Have you had a drink yet?" And Gaz says, no. He goes, "We'll get in there and get a half, because I know what you're like when you get a couple of drinks in you." And
Was he
Archie,
phenomenal? That is that the day he scored at Parkhead?
he scored it. Coisty now actually laid it on, but we're in the tunnel and people are going, "Where is he?" And he comes out, and now you can tell with that wee glow.
Couple of whiskies.
He's had a couple of whiskies now with people just at the right hand side of the tunnel at Parkhead.
He was famous and all for community training with his fishing gear as well, wasn't he?
Oh,
Gaz?
he just because now you know Paul, he can't sleep, so he was up at 4 a.m. As soon as the first light, he boot up there fishing, and we had to wear shirt and tie to training, and he would come in with his waders, with his shirt and tie and all the fish.
Thanks for coming along, Durrani.
Pleasure.
Thank you.
Absolute pleasure.
You going?
I'll be there, aye. Be interesting, because now they've been dominating it, so they've got to put a wee marker down and see what happens.
Yeah.
They've got to go and test them and see what they can do.
So,
Take it easy, big.
cheers. Thanks, Ian. Thank you.
I'm not doing any minute. There's he. Tomo!
Alright, lads. How are we?
Oh, right.
It's chilly up here, isn't it?
What mean chilly, man?
Oh, yeah.
You're in Newcastle.
Ball it, man. Yeah. Nice moat, eh?
It's lovely,
Yeah,
man.
it's not ours.
We've had all sorts of issues. We've had windscreen wipers on and everything.
Have you?
Try to get the thing going.
You got washer fluid in the thing?
No, we're scared to touch your button in case we ever get in the ejector seat. So what's your fondest memory of the old firm? Obviously you've got a lot.
I've got
You've got a lot-
I've
you've
got
got
a
a
lot.
lot.
I've got a lot of good ones.
Well, go on, let's hear
I've got a
this.
couple of bad ones.
We'll get through bad
no.
ones.
Well,
No, we
we may
won't.
as well get the bad ones out the way now, because I know you're going to bring the red cards up, so you may as well get them out there.
Did you get red carded?
Well,
What's the point?
one was probably a red card out the 3. I'm not saying the other 2 weren't,
Well,
but
you
I
see-
am.
you
but
see
I
that's
am.
What are you
That's like
saying? Poor refereeing decision.
Very poor refereeing decisions.
No, can I tell you something? We've been in this car for 2 hours, and every time there's a decision, he's putting pressure on the referee already.
He's right though, isn't he?
Oh, I've got to be honest with you, Tomo. I
some
thought
of the
the
decisions.
headbutt for on Lovingkrantz was bordering on assault.
Yeah.
I'm glad you put your tongue in your cheek. I'm glad you put
Yeah.
your tongue in your cheek when you said that. Yeah. So, the bad ones obviously would be the red cards and the odd defeat we did get. But like I just said, there was many good ones. I mean, one of the fondest ones was one of the first ones I played in, and you were playing at Celtic Park.
Yeah.
I don't know if you recall it, but you clashed with young Aidan McGeady, and Aidan loved his arms up and that. And Aidan's caught you, and your tooths come out, hasn't it?
It did come out,
It come out, and I'm not joking. It didn't take them long to find it, because it was like an elephant's tusk.
Yeah. Can I just tell you something? Did you see how big it was?
That's what I mean. I couldn't believe the size of it,
Well, they
man.
gave it back the next day.
Aye.
But see if they'd given us it back directly after the game, apparently it would have kind of reconnected.
I'm sure it would have done.
That's true.
But I can't believe they didn't find it on the day, the size of it.
Those players tripping over it.
Talk us through that one where because I think you won goal of the season, didn't you? That was 2000.
Yeah, I think I did, yeah.
To be
I
fair,
think,
And
yeah.
I'd scored the chip, which was
Well,
technically a better goal because yours was just a laces.
The chip again, it's the last 5 minutes as well, isn't it? And it's obviously takes some beating, but mine just pipped yours, Chris. But
What were you thinking when the ball's dropping? Just lace us through it?
I'm first thinking, have a good first touch. If I get a good first
your
touch and it's a yard out my feet,
Was it a good first touch?
yeah, it was world class. And I just thought, I had a defender coming out to close us down, and I just thought, I cut across it, it'll come round him and just hit the bar just above Kloss. He could have been
To be
7
fair,
foot goal.
not
he
a
wouldn't
chance.
have
He's
got it.
saved that, by the way. He was like mini me
He
trying to get his hands
could
up.
have been 7'6". He still wouldn't have saved it.
I mean, you had a big rivalry with Fernando at that particular time. Lived on the same estate.
Yeah, lived on the same estate.
How did you get on off the field?
We didn't really see a lot of each other. I mean, God bless him, he knocked on my door a few times. I don't know if he wanted a cup of tea or what, but I didn't let him in. But you know, he was a tough opponent, good player, strong as an ox.
Was there this story that he came round in the early hours with his dog asking you for a fight?
Yeah, he come knocking on my door.
Tell us what happened.
He had the front door goes at like after midnight. He stood there with his bull mastiff, and I'm thinking, I would have a square go with Fernando, but I ain't going with the dog. I ain't going with the dog, mate. No chance. I said, take your dog. I didn't even go downstairs. I just said to him out the window, Fernando, take the dog back round the corner, come back and we'll have a roll about. But yeah, God bless him, he wouldn't take the dog home. So I ends up ringing the Rocket, Ronald de Boer. He lived opposite us. So rings the Rocket. I went, Rocket, you better get your pal away from me front door. I've got a newborn baby in bed here, man. So Ronald comes out and Fernando in Dutch, come on, get yourself away.
What about your pre-match rituals and whatever? Because you used to like a vomit, didn't you?
Yeah, I used to
Nerves?
vomit. Yeah. Used to like a vomit before the game, and then half time, and then just after half time you get on the pitch. You get on the pitch just after half time. You know, you'd have a Lucasade, cup of tea, a few jelly babies. I just brought them straight back up when I got on the pitch. Groundsman used to go mental.
Your first impressions of Glasgow and Celtic as a club?
I think how intense it was. I think it was mentally intense in terms of the media, even at clubs like, you know, big clubs. I've been at Newcastle and Villa. You don't get the media attention you're doing up here. You're getting asked to do this and that and the other, and then you could be walking down streets where we are now in the city centre, and you could get a Celtic fan who would want to praise you and a Rangers fan who might want to give you a snide remark, but you just got to be thick-skinned. But it was intense, but I wouldn't swap it. It was great.
What was your most important goal against Rangers?
Most important one? I think they're all important, Chris, because the 7 I did score, we didn't lose any of the games, so they were important goals. So, but
It's part of the green and whitewash season. Did you play in that?
Which was that? What you talking
3,
about
3,
the treble?
4, yeah. No,
No,
3,
the green
4,
and
the green and
that-
where we stuffed you every game.
Well, I think before I go there, as I said earlier on, Tom O'Deuce had won every game we had. Rangers hadn't won a game.
That's got. I mean,
Right.
it actually got to the point where we actually started to feel sorry for them, didn't we?
a little bit.
Remember later on in the
It
season.
did get to
Yeah,
that stage
feeling,
where we thought,
yeah.
And we
shall we let
thought,
them? Shall we let them win a game? Shall we not?
You get to a stage where you're so dominant that you ease off.
You run dominant
And then-
and following you, I know that, Tomo.
What happened the following year, like?
What happened?
Well, I think we knocked you out of this cup the following year.
Did you?
Aye,
Did you?
it was, yeah.
Anything can happen in a one-off game. It's all
Yeah.
about the league
That's it.
titles.
Well, I think we-
League titles all day long.
Tomo, I think we
Cups
won
are
the league.
nice, don't they?
Tomo, we won the league that year.
Did you? All right. Didn't realise that. Right.
You know, the players you played with at Celtic. I mean, we just relied on Henrik, didn't we?
Mostly, yeah.
How good was
Yeah.
he then, Tomo? Because obviously I come up the year after he left, thankfully. But
Well, I mean, a lot of people only seen him, you know, midweek or Saturday or a Sunday game. We seen him day in, day out, and he was ridiculous. And he would do things in training or a finish that you just didn't think was on. So he was a bit
Top
special.
draw.
Yeah, he could do things that other players wouldn't even have contemplated doing. So from that aspect, he'd be up there with the best, you know.
I mean, I don't think we hated Rangers. I think we respected them as players, but the desire to beat them was. Would you say that was more than any other clubs you played for?
In terms of a 1 to 10 scale, a North East derby I'd put down as a 7, and Rangers Celtic I'd put as a
9.
10.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it would get much bigger than that.
Right, Tomo, it's us, by the way. We're at the
Alright,
Billy
mate.
Conley.
All right, thanks, Alex. Keep in
Thanks,
touch,
Al.
Chris.
Cheers, it will
Take
do.
care, big
Good luck.
cheers.
See you.
Give us a text if you want to have a pint or something.
I will do, yeah. Cheers, Al.
Cheers, lad.
Cheers, partner. He's obviously got a couple of goodies in there, hasn't he?
How you doing, guys?
All right, Kenny boy, you need to get in that middle seat.
Right in the middle there, perfect. I've got a wee couple of snacks, boys. You've been working hard all morning.
We're just about to key you there.
We were wondering why you had to carry it
15
back.
million quid in the bank.
There you go. That's an old one as well, by the way. So
You're
the
big
sugar
enough.
content's right up.
So, Kenny, anyway, you're an unusual Glaswegian player, aren't you? Because you've seen both sides of it.
Yep.
So, tell us about your first Celtic Rangers game. Who was it for?
It was for Rangers, and you were actually playing, Chris.
You just said earlier on I'd not played against him.
You were playing.
Good research.
Which one was that?
5-1.
Clearly made an impact.
Did you play in
5-1
that?
at
Did you?
Ibrox, yeah, 2000.
Why are you bringing that up? Going into the game, as your first one, were there nerves?
There was absolutely nerves. It was the first taste of that game. And you know, we had a really poor start to that season. Obviously, the 6-2, that was what, third or fourth game of the season, maybe. It was you had that to kind of look back on as well. So I mean, you had to put that right. But it was a really poor start to the season that year. So we were actually playing catch up already. So it was a massive game going into it. So yeah, that was. Again, I've never really got too nervous about games, but there has been a few games over the course of my career. I do remember that the Old Firm debut, playoff final when I was at Wolves. But yeah, there was always a wee bit of nerves going into the Old Firm games because you knew what it meant to fans, to the club.
In terms of the derbies, you've been about the place, you've been all over.
Yep, everywhere, aye, the world,
Yeah,
aye.
anywhere there was a pound, we had you were there, aye.
But no, for me, that game's always been the standout of. I mean, I loved every Old Firm that I played in. It's.
You don't love losing them, but how bad is it?
No, it's the worst thing ever. It is. I mean, losing any game's tough, but losing that game, you're actually. You need to bounce back straight away.
Of course.
But again, you've always got one eye on that next game, that next Old Firm game. You need to write it, like you're saying about the 6-2. That season, my first year ever at Rangers. You're thinking, right, we need to right that wrong, you know, because that's on the face. I mean, I still remember. I think it was 3-2 at times. A goal chopped off for offside in that game. Chris was.
I don't know. Another bad refereeing decision. He's been moaning for about 2 hours now about bad refereeing decision.
Isn't it funny, isn't it? Everyone we've had in the car is
Everybody's in a referee.
Well, there's always something, isn't there?
You scored 2009. You scored the winner.
In the cup final, yeah, 2009-2010 season it was, yeah.
What was it like to go so second time back at Rangers? What was that like? Going in the door again? Were you well received?
By the players, yeah. I mean, it was Walter Smith as the manager. I mean, that was the big thing for me. Had it not been Walter, I probably never have got that chance. I always just thought that the fact that it was Walter Smith, that the fans would trust that he actually knew what he was doing.
And was it a good reception then?
No, it wasn't a great reception.
Was
it
it
wasn't a great reception. I
hot-
think even before I set foot in the building, there was a bit of opposition. I had to earn that kind of respect back and earn that right back. And again, what better way to do it than getting a couple of goals at Celtic Park in a 4-2 win, the first Old Firm game of the season.
What's your best moment in an Old Firm and your worst moment?
The best was the Mo-Do moment. It was
score late in the game.
The game was, again, like all games of those teams, really close. There's not a lot. Even when Celtic went to 10 men, there wasn't a lot in it. But we knew if we won that day, that was league done.
Catalyst.
It was league done, and we could start celebrating. See when that goal went. I mean, see if you see clips of that goal. I'm rooted. I'm right there. I could have put it in, but I was rooted. The shot came in for Boogie. Boric saves it, and I was like Walter on the side. I was like kicking it in with Boydie. Boydie missed it, and then drops to Mo. Mo then slams it in, and the place just goes wild. You see Celtic now giving all the celebrations after the games. Yeah. That was us that day because we knew we had achieved. That was pretty much the league done.
Thanks for coming along, Kenny.
Good stuff, boys. Enjoy your sandwiches and your iron brew. Just make sure you get that down you.
Thank you.
Cheers, boys.
Thanks, Kenny.
You got a taxi now, Kenny, aye?
Aye, get somewhere, aye.
I think there was a white one there, wasn't it, a minute ago?
Right, boys, see you later.
See you, Kenny. Thank you.
This is special now. This gives me goosebumps.
Does it?
It does, yeah, it does. Green and white wash
Who's this
season.
character here?
Remember that? The green and white wash
Who's
season
this guy here? Look, he's looking at his watch.
is in
Is he
green.
selling the big issue?
It's all in green.
Yes.
Another Celtic legend because there are so many, aren't there? 60. Look at the stadium. Look where we are.
Yeah, I'm all
Look
in
what
it,
it
man.
means.
Get in the back. Can you come, Peter? Take your coat off if you want to toast in here, mate. Take that
Keep
off.
it warm in here
Have
for
you
me,
got your
pal.
Celtic jumper
Of course I have. What else do you expect?
How are you, mate? It's great
Good to see you.
Your hands are freezing.
How are you, all right?
Good.
In the middle there, Peter, we get your belt on, we're ready to
No
rock.
problem.
He's getting a little bit.
shut this door.
He's getting a little bit tetchy now because we've been over to Castle Grayskull and had a chat with a couple of his mates.
Nah.
You know the thing is, Peter, we're in bandit territory. You know.
And
What you're doing
now the day's brightened up. We've come to Paradise, the bigger stadium, the nicer looking stadium, the
It's
greater
always been the
history.
case. It's always
isn't
been
it?
the case. You know what I mean? You know that.
And look at that, Peter. Look at that.
Peter,
yes.
15 years at the club.
Yes.
What was your
Fantastic
favourite old firm game? I know you played in many.
Well, the first one, because it was my debut. Obviously, I was going to be playing the reserves. I was 17, 18 at the time, and I got a phone call to come in early. I'd been at Mass in the morning. We were playing Airdrie Reserve, supposed to be here. I walked in, Brian Scott says to me, the manager wants to see you in the physio room. I walked in, Davey
You thought
wasn't
you were
there.
in trouble?
Yeah, I did. And Davey wasn't there, and I was like, what's going on here? And he walked in and he says, listen, you're playing over at Ibrox today, and I didn't think you could do it, you wouldn't be playing. And I just started crying.
What did you?
Oh,
What age
I
were
was
you
what?
that time, Peter?
I think it was just after my 17th birthday.
Wow.
Maiden memory was, I don't know how long was gone, but I remember getting 6 studs in my throat, and it was for
That's a normal tackle.
But Ali McCoy's.
Was it?
Ali
my
McCoy's
God.
tackling. I think it was the only tackle he ever done in his life. Round about the Adam's apple he set me, you know, straight down. But
Welcome.
obviously one of these ones you've got to jump back up because as if they never hurt you. One of these ones.
Who were the big competitors, like your big midfield battles against from Rangers?
Well, I must admit, I loved Ian Durant. You know, I know people talk about all the superstars that came, Gascoignes and all that, but I thought Durant was unbelievable.
He was some player, wasn't he, Peter?
I say it was just such a shame, you know, and I say that for the bottom of my heart because he was a terrific player. And I think he could have played at any level because he had something different. He ran at you with the ball at his feet very quickly and created chances and scored goals.
Peter, do you see the way I brought you? I've actually brought you into your team. Do you see the big
I'm glad you missed out Bridgeton that way.
No, I thought I'd just bring you down by the hoops bar and so forth.
Well, these were all places that we knew about Celtic supporters. This was what you were representing.
Yeah, of course.
This was what it was, you know, this was what you played for. People always talk about finance and that nowadays. For us,
Was
it was just an honour.
Who was the characters, the top players in Celtic at that time? Who ran the dressing rooms? Big Roy?
Big Roy was a fantastic skipper, but I was fortunate enough I had Danny for the first few years, you know, who was a hero of mine, and still is obviously a hero of mine. And as I said, some special guys, Tommy Burns, God rest him, you know, Tommy was unbelievable, and he probably showed me what the passion of the club was about, even though you were brought up in it, but you knew.
Yeah.
It was a sort of, I know it sounds silly, but it was a wee bit maybe different for us, probably to the extent it meant too much, you know. I know it sounds crazy.
What do you mean by that? The era you're brought up in, or being brought up in Glasgow?
Yeah, I think all that. I was a Lanarkshire boy, Chris, and both grandparents, God rest them, they ran Celtic supporters buses, all that. So you were always brought up in that, you know, you're brought up being a Celtic supporter. Everything was round about Celtic. There was nothing else.
So
really
the pressure
involved in.
on you.
It's immense.
Yeah. Well, you were representing everybody. You were representing the supporters out there, but your family was there, and the family were going to be getting stick if you weren't playing well.
What was your best moment against
Highlight, you
Rangers?
mean?
Highlight against Rangers was probably winning the cup final in '89. I'd missed a couple of cup finals, and the dream as a kid was to play you always used to be out the back playing, and you'd be thinking cup final against Rangers, Scottish cup final, because the Scottish cup final
Special.
was special for every football person. I thought that was the thing you look forward to. The last day of the season, it was a game that was on the television fairly in the morning, and you wanted to be part of that. And my dream was to play Rangers in a Scottish cup final and win it.
What was the score in the
The
final?
1-1-0, Joe Miller goal.
Oh, stop it. That
yeah.
one, it was illegal throwing. Cheated your way to the final.
It doesn't matter. You've got to win.
What did it mean for you to captain the club? And I mean, how many games was it?
400
over
or so,
400,
480
yeah.
or something like that. But I didn't, Chris. I honestly, I could never have told you any figures and numbers I was given, because for me,
It wasn't about money, wasn't it?
no. But every day was. See, driving up
bonus.
Kerrydale Street.
Yeah.
I went in every day. I used to go off the 35 bus from Edinburgh, and I used to walk up there as a young kid, and that was my job in the morning. Ground staff, 2 was on the ground staff, Paul McStay, and then Paul was only a short period, only Archdeacon. It was only me and Oni,
Yeah.
and Paul get taken off it, and there was only 2 of us, and I was still in the ground. I'd played about 50 games, and I was still cleaning
still
the
in the
players.
ground,
Aye, I was still cleaning the players' boots. That
But
wasn't
that's
playing.
special, Peter.
loved it.
I joined Rangers as a 15 and a half, and so you're right, you walk up, you get off at the underground, you walk along the road, but there is something magical about it,
It was magic, and I never lost that feeling. Going to train at Barrowfield was the greatest days of my life. You know, I loved every moment. I wanted it to last forever. But I think the biggest strength is I knew that one day it would end. So every day I appreciated it, and I was very, very fortunate to pull it on once. And as I say, the figures didn't mean anything to me. Just getting an opportunity to do it was the biggest thing for me.
Right, more, let's get a show on the road. Right,
Brilliant,
Pedro,
guys.
take it
You're a
easy,
star.
mate. I won't let go for you.
Great seeing you, pal.
Thanks, pal.
See you, pal.
Good luck,
See you later.
good luck with the weekend,
Thanks
mate.
very much. All right,
you.
pal. Enjoy. I'll see you
See
later.
you later. Cheers. Hey, lovely, let's go.
I enjoyed that.
Yeah, good day, big man.
Yeah, I mean, what we've learned today, I think it's the most ferocious derby in the world, the biggest derby in the world, the greatest rivalry in the world, but a lot of love and a lot of respect.
Yeah, absolutely. We spoke about the rivalry between everybody. Really enjoyed it. Some great stories. Everyone's looking forward to Sunday's game here at the National Stadium.
Got to say, your driving's been awful, though, and
Yeah, a bit like your partner, big man. Brilliant.
can't wait to see you Sunday.